and welcome to my makerspace. My name is John Burns and I'm an xTool Pro Hub here in San Fernando, California. I'm gonna check out chat as you guys join. It's great to see everybody on this wonderful Friday night. As you can see, the sun's going down, so I got some angelic glow going on. Today we're going to be doing 3 projects. One that's going to be metal, one that's wood, and one that's glass. Feel free to type in the comments when you arrive. What's the weather like? What's your next big project? Just let us know what you're up to. The topic tonight is going to be last minute gifts. I'm sure no matter how much we plan, there's always going to be last minute things. And so today we're going to be focusing on, I got all the things from Dollar Tree, and we're going to be focusing on things you can go out, grab, and customize so you don't have to buy something custom. You can make something memorable. So feel free to type in the chat. Let me know what's going on, how your evening has been. Once we got a few people here, I'm going to get starting. All right. Again, during this live stream, there is no audio. All right. That is something good to know. How about now? How's that sound? Hi, Whitney. Hey, Clint. Still no audio? Let me know. Again, my name is John Burns. I am a Pro Hub here in San Fernando. Tonight's topic is going to be last minute gifts. All the stuff. Great. Thank you, Whitney. I see you guys too. All the things are going to be things you can go out and grab cheaply and then customize. Thank you, Velvet. Awesome. Okay, so let's get started. I see we got about 25 people. Feel free to wave. Hi. And we're going to get started. So again, welcome. There is 2 codes that you can use the next few days to get, and they do stack with the Mother's Day sale. So to get $50 off, John 50 if you're shopping from the Canadian site. It's John 70. And then the other thing is we're going to be doing there's going to be a giveaway. Let me grab that. And so we are going to have 3 winners. They're going to be contacted via email within 48 hours. But make sure that you scan the QR code, put in your info to enter for that. And if you join later, let me know and I'll flash the QR code back up there in between projects. All right. Again, if you guys have any questions, let me know. So first off, the machine we're going to be featuring today is the xTool UV. So it's the xTool UV laser. Let me switch cameras and you guys can see what we're working with. The first project we're going to be doing is with glass. And let's shift over. Give me 1 second. Shift over to my little camera so you guys can see what's going on. All right. So the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be engraving on glass. All right, here we go. Okay, so, all right. We're going to be engraving on glass, and then I'm going to show you guys a little trick to be able to add color to the glass. So here is our base plate. Again, I got this from Dollar Tree. We're going to work on the glass first. I find that there are two settings that I use a lot for glass. There is high tempered glass and then the soda lime glass. With the high tempered glass, I use that for glass. So glass that's thicker. Let me see if there we go. It fell asleep while I was getting everything else set up. All right, so it's thicker glass. The soda lime I use for other kinds of glass, and my machine's name is Oscar B Purple. My kids named it. So if you have a name for machine, feel free to type that. One of my tricks is this came with the crystal that came with the machine, and I use it to get really close when focusing on glass. So that way I can get it really, really focused. And then let's switch this software. All right, UV. There we go. So again, I use the thinnest paper I have, which is this this paper that came with the crystal, to get it nice and focused. And then in the software, I'm gonna take a picture since I just moved it, and I'm gonna design a Mother's Day. So we're gonna do Happy Mother's Day. And then I really like, let's do this font. And then I love in the software how easy it is to size things. We're gonna click engrave. I'm gonna change this to the black layer by right clicking, so it's a little easier to see. And then I call it the windshield wiper symbol, because it looks like a windshield to me. I'm just gonna put it down a little bit. And then I'm gonna bring in a picture of flowers. Down below. Everything comes in huge. All right, so gonna get these flowers. This does have a little bit of a bevel to it, so I'm gonna put it a little bit up from the bottom. And then there are blue lines you can see where it's centered. So I want those both to be centered. Okay. Now I'm gonna go to framing, which you all probably won't be able to see from your vantage point. And then I'm gonna square this up based on the framing. I'm gonna use my trusty super thin wax paper to be able to see the design, feel the edges, and get it nice and squared. All right. Now that that is done, we're going to start with the default settings. And while this is going, I'm going to check chat and answer questions you all have. All right, here we go. All right, it's going to be really, really fast. So let's see what you all are thinking. Yes, so there is going to be, it's going to post on Facebook and also on YouTube. So yes, you can view it later. Hello, Hope Noel. Glad you guys made it. Let me see if there's any other questions. Prime the glass. No, with the F2 UV, you don't need to prime the glass at all. Let me see if I can raise this up just a little bit. Maybe give you all a little bit of a better view of the top. Oh. All right. It is almost done. It goes so quickly. I think that went so quickly, I'm actually going to run it again. Get it a little bit deeper. What we're going to be doing next is we're going to be... there we go. We're going to be using some paint pens to actually put paint in the surface. So I'm going to do it twice, so it's definitely nice and deep. So we're going to run it one more time. It took a minute and 50 seconds. If you guys have questions, please let me know. And has anybody worked with glass? Anybody have any tips that they'd like to share? Hi, Travel Diva. Hello to Missouri from California. Oh yeah, no, mount it inside. Yeah, I actually, yeah, thanks, Sam. I do have the wiring and stuff for that, but I have not gotten around to it. Hey, Richard, good to see you again. I imagine you've been busy since CES. Hello to Arkansas as well. Hi, Lisa from Montana. Beautiful country. All right, it is almost done. Everybody who joined, feel free to check in with the QR code. That's going to get you entered into a $100 gift card, $140 if you use it on the Canada site. We are almost done. It's doing just the end of the flowers. Let me pull this up a little bit, maybe get a little bit better shot. Yeah, so John, similar draw from Dollar Tree. So what I found the first time I did it today was that my focus was off. And so because my focus was off, yes, absolutely. Yeah, because my focus was off, it actually wasn't marking it. So I had to drop my focus a tiny bit to get it to work, John. Hi, Josh. Yeah, we're gonna be doing some coloring, not with rub and buff, but we're gonna be doing a little bit of coloring. All right, so let me switch over our camera. Please keep chatting. Here we go. All right. Okay, so here is our results. There we go. So here's what we have out of there. It's a little hard to see. What we're going to end up doing is I am going to color what we just did with paint pens. And then we're going to rub it off so that the glass is clear again. If you have a favorite color, let me know that you'd like a flower colored, and I'll see if I can do that. There we go. Just making sure you can all see. Again, this isn't a precision sport. You just got to get it into the different places that have been etched off. So I'm going to start with the greenery. If you guys want to shout out any colors you like to see, we have 1, 2, 3. We got 4 flowers, so we could do the different colors. Or I think the last time I did 2 of them, yellow, 1 blue. All right, there we go. Anybody? Yellow, red, purple. Okay. And 1 more neon yellow. Let's see. I don't know that I have neon yellow. I definitely have yellow. Is it really backwards? No, it's the camera. It's the camera. No, the camera's backwards. I'm not exactly sure. This is there. Let me see. I don't know how to reflect that. This isn't really my software. Okay, we'll save the gold for later. Yeah, mirrored and read stream. If you have an idea how to do that fast, I am definitely open to that. Just give a shout out, Richard. All right, but while that's happening, we had yellow. I saw yellow, red, purple, neon purple, pink, purple. Okay, I'll do 1 yellow. So we'll do this 1 yellow. And then red. Do this one over here, red. Let me see if I have purple in my drawer. I do have purple. And then we're gonna save the gold. And I found paint pens work for this. Anything that's like alcohol based also works. So I use Sharpies. And then let's do blue. There we go, blue. We'll do both of these blue. And part of why we did this twice was so that it would be deep enough to hold the color. All right, gear, icon, video preview settings. Let's see if I can get that fast. Settings, video, mirror camera. How's that? Is that better, everybody? Thank you, Richard, for that. Okay, can everybody see now? It's not making your brain hurt. Okay, all right. Somebody requested gold, so let's do Mother's Day or Happy in gold. So we got our gold here. And then we'll do Mother's Day so we get some high contrast. We'll do Mother's Day in black. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not terribly patient. So I have a hairdryer in my makerspace so I can dry paint quickly, because if something's last minute or not, I still want it to dry fast. So I'm gonna grab my hairdryer and dry this. All right, and then the key thing when you're cleaning it is you don't want to scrub. You just want to clean off the surface. You don't want to get in and remove the paint. So I've got just a tiny bit of LA is awesome. And I'm just going to go across the surface. So it'll wipe the green first. Again, I don't want to wipe it into something else. So I'm going to be careful not to wipe it into our flower. And then I'm going to wipe the flowers off. There we go. All right, get a little more. Not sure if you can all see the magic as it's happening. All right, and then get our yellow flower. That turned out really well. And then the red and the purple. There we go. All right, and then we're gonna wipe the black. Gonna spin it around so I don't get any black on the flowers. And again, you just want to be careful that you're not pushing down too hard because it's really easy to remove the paint if you're not careful. You want to go across the surface. We're just removing the paint that is on the surface of the glass. All right, almost there. Got a couple of stragglers. All right, and then here we go. So we got the flowers. And again, you could put something in here. I don't know if it's easier to see, but we got the flowers colored. Mother's Day is colored. And then happy is in that gold. All right. Any questions on that method? I've seen people do it with perfume bottles. I've seen them do it with all sorts of glass things they're engraving that they want. Fill the M. Yeah, I did scrub the M a little bit too hard. All right. Here's the one that I practiced on. Always got to make sure that you know what you're doing before you do it in front of an audience. Again, you could fill this up with something. Okay, yeah, paint, and then engrave. I've also put paint, acrylic paint on plastics and then melted the plastic so it melts the pigment into it. Hello, Monkey Woodworks. Good to see you. It's been too long. All right. Any other questions on that? Pretty simple. $1.50. But we have the cap still. So unless people have questions on this, I'm going to move on to what we're going to do with the cap. So the cap comes with this wonderful metal cap, sort of a rose gold. And so I'm going to put that on the F2 UV. Switch over to our software. All right, and then I'm going to change materials. Change this to stainless steel. It's reflective, got it. And then we're going to focus and take a picture. It's got to come down quite a bit. All right, here we've got our picture. Okay, so what we're going to be doing for this is I'm going to be importing a picture of my kiddos for this, and then we're going to be using the masking to mask a circle around it. Yes, we'd like to scale it to fit. All right. And then circle. All right. Mask. Circle. Just it a little bit. Bring it in. There we go. And then what's great with the software is now that we've selected the material, we can go up to adjustments and do auto adjust. So it's gonna dither. And I found from practicing this afternoon with this stainless steel, since it's coated, I'm actually gonna invert it. So it's gonna do yeah, it's gonna invert. So let's switch over. All right, just here. So I want to make it small enough. There's a little bit of a ridge that's hard to see. So I'm gonna make sure that it fits there. I am also just out of habit because I started with CO2 lasers and then transitioned to other lasers. I just want to make sure that that it's framed. So we're gonna go to framing. I switch over so you guys can see what that looks like. All right, so we got our framing going on. Slightly changed, but that looks good. All right, and then, hi, Michelle, good to see you. Good to see you, Costa Creations. Hello, Michael. All right, welcome to everybody. If you want to be entered into the drawing, please click on the QR code. There is also a discount code. Let me throw that back up there. There we go. $50 off. John 50. Oh, clicked it too many times. John 50 for $50 off. It does stack with the Mother's Day sale. And John 70 for the Canada store. So I'm going to leave that up there. All right, I'm going to leave this as they are. Let me switch over to settings. There we go. So just briefly, the settings. There we go. So dot duration is how long bend on each pixel. The power is how much power it's going to do. Dots per inch, DPI. So if you're wanting something to be more intense, there's a couple ways of doing that. If we go over to edit, we've already done the auto adjustment. When I was at an event where F1 Ultra, I had to adjust the strength down, brightness up, because it was over burning the coaster. So these are sort of the places you can pull the levers, pull the strength back, put the brightness up. It might look washed out here, but if you're using a higher power laser, do that so it's not overburning. And here the dots, you can add both by upping this, which will make the time go longer, or by putting the power up. All right, let me check chat, make sure there are no questions about that. Or if people have, advice, please throw it in there. Even though I'm the ones that learn a lot from everyone who has different experiences. All right, you're welcome, Ronnie. Hello from Alberta. Seashells. There are a few machines that could do seashells. I would say you could try it on this machine. Maybe the F1 Ultra, really, really fast. No, I'm not going to be engraving. I'm going to actually be removing the anodized. It's hard to see, but it's actually anodized. So it's got an anodized aluminum covering. Okay. All right. So let's get to that. Let me switch cameras again so you guys can see what's going on. All right. Here we go. And we're going to process and start. And we might run this a couple of times depending on how it looks. All right, here we go. All right, it is sending the file as we speak. Yeah, what have you done a lot of color engraving with the UV, Richard? Do you have any favorite materials to do color engraving with? Most of my experience is with stainless keychains. Like I love doing. I have one a tiger SVG that I've taken apart to do a few different colors on. So yeah, if anybody has any things they love to color engrave on, please let me know, and we will go from there. Looking at the P2, too expensive, F1 Deluxe. Yeah, the P2. I love pairing the CO2 machine with another machine. So I use the P3, and I also use my smaller machines. Depends if you're going to be doing a lot of cutting. So if you want to cut your own blanks, if you want to buy your own blanks, then absolutely the F1, or the F2. I love the little guy, the F2. Yeah, the S1 is great. I prefer the F2. Like with color engraving, I really like just the regular F2, the little orange guy. For doing IR and engraving. But for things that take a lot of detail, the F2 UV is just really incredible. What do you want to upgrade later, Timothy? You mean upgrade to another machine? I don't know if everybody knows, but there is, yeah, F2 little orange guy. So my F2's name is actually Francesca. So we have Francesca is my F2. And then we got the UV, which is, oh man, I gotta refresh myself. My kid's named it. Oscar B Purple is my UV, and then the P3 is called Xavier. A lot of shells. So it depends what kind of shell. Like if you're wanting to engrave the shells, I think you'd want something with a good deal of power. So maybe the F1 Ultra. Again, you want to start really, really fast and low power. If you want high amount of detail, I've never tried I've never tried it on this one. But you could try it on the UV. If you, I don't know where you're located, but there's demo squad members all over the place. And so you can book material testing. F2 Ultra. So the F2 Ultra is best for metal. It does have the 40-watt diode, but the 60-watt MOPA fiber is just incredible for metal. So if you're going to be doing metal, um, the F2 Ultra is really the way to go. Yeah, the P2, P3, and P2S, they really work together with the F2 UV. I just did a teacher's project. I made a whole bunch of name planks for the school. I cut out I got the pieces on the P3, and then I engraved with the F2 UV. And the level of detail with engraving is just really incredible. You're getting close to photo quality, or as close as your media will allow. So let's see. So it's really, really pretty incredible. And then, make your mark, put your, I made these for free for this school, but I put my business name and QR code on the bottom in case anybody wants to make something. So yeah, they definitely work together. Each tool has a niche. All right. Massachusetts, yeah, there are demo room hosts all over the place. There are people that can do remote demoing. UV, okay, Ben thinks the UV would be good on shells. The level of detail is awesome. South Carolina. Am I adding the? Are you asking? Am I adding the metal fab? Oh man, I'm currently renting and I can't rewire, and my garage, the garage I'm living at right now is a mess. But once I'm in a place that I can do the rewiring, the metal fab is just incredible. I've seen it every show. They brought a few of us up to Mountain View to do some training on it, and yeah, I have metal fab and me for all the others. Oh, thanks for noticing my haircut, Michelle. Yeah, so the best way to get a hold of a demo space is to go to xTool.com, click on support, then click on squad, and you can click demo, and then put in your address, everybody around you. There in the chat, there are many talented people that are squad hosts or Pro Hub. Ben, Michelle, Richard. I'm sure there's more. Like there's so many people that can help you out. But going there, if you're wanting to do something in person, go there and find out who does in person near you. All right, Oregon, welcome. P3 engraves. Yes, P3 engraves. So this is just my opinion. I think of the different light sources as being different types of media. So like sometimes you want watercolor, sometimes you want oil paint, and then the thickness, the thickness of the actual laser determines how fine. So for example, the P3, I've done lots of incredible engraving on it. It removes material. So if you want something more three-dimensional, it's got a larger, again, it's super small, but comparatively larger dot size. It's going to be like using a wider brush, a wider, stronger brush that's going to remove more material. Then there's the diode lasers. So the blue light lasers, the higher the wattage, the bigger the dot size is. So of those, the smallest would be the F2 and the F1, the little green guy and the little orange gal, Francesca, and then the F series. The higher the wattage, the thicker it is, and then the smallest, I believe by far, is the UV, and part of that's light source, and that leads to the dot size that can get you that incredible detail. All right. Yes. Thank you, Michelle. The demo. Let me see if I can show that. Yeah. So the demo, I think you can all see that now. Support.xtool.com, demo-room. All right. Xavier versus Xavier. Yes. All right. First letter, why would you? Okay. How does one become part of the xTool team? Okay. So, Timothy, first of all, experience. Secondly, if you go to the website, there's opportunities to have different kinds of partnership, either demo room. So go to the website, and there's lots of ways to get involved, lots of ways to get engaged. Be active in the Facebook groups. That's a great way. Yeah, thanks. All right. Now let's switch on over. Let me switch the overlay again, just in case anybody needs the QR code to get entered. Let's show that. There we go. So please enter. All right, that is looking awesome. Let me switch to my little camera. All right, so here is our results. So again, it's really, really incredible the amount of detail. Earlier today, I did a little experiment. I didn't reverse it because it was set to the stainless steel. And with this, you can see there's a high degree of detail. So now we have our Mother's Day, jar already. We got our kiddos on the top. All right, and we got one more project. Any questions on that before I move on? Let me check chat. And thanks to everybody who's jumping in and answering questions on chat. We have an amazing community full of incredible people that are super helpful. AP and metal fab commissioning services. Yes. Let me show that. I don't know which things you can see or not. But Richard says, don't forget, if you have the AP with apparel printer or metal fab, take advantage of the commissioning services. Absolutely. Yeah. Find a host near you. Service station, Pro Hub, people that can do all those things. It's incredibly helpful to have a local connection, walk you through little things, point you in the right direction, and get you connected when you need to. And I think right now they've rolled out sort of an automated connection for at least the apparel printer for commissioning. So you might not even need to separately ask for that. All right. All right. Hi, everybody. Okay, I think I'm caught up on questions. Let's, again, anybody that just joined, scan that QR code, get entered into the drawing. xTool's on vacation. Well, not all of xTool. A part of xTool's on vacation. So allow for 48 hours to get emailed when you win. If you win, when you win the $100 gift card, it'll show up in your email. All right, let's move on to our last project. I know time is going by very quickly. Let me switch cameras around for y'all. All right, so I made a bunch of blanks, like I was saying, for this parent, for the teacher appreciation. And so I'm going to engrave a picture, a larger picture on wood so you all can see. Switch over to Studio. Here we go. When I'm teaching the software, I sort of say top to bottom and left to right. So the top is connecting. I hope you all can see my mouse. And then we're doing flat surface. Now we're going to switch up our material. It's great in the software that you can have, if you have settings that you like, you can set them yourself. I'm going to get rid of that. Keep as is. Okay, so now we've put in our material. Now we're going to auto measure and take a picture. All right, it's going to show us our canvas. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the same image again, because one great image. I turned 9 not too long ago. We did a tea party. So I have this great image of the 3 of them that's recent. All right. This time we're going to use a different masking. So we're going to mask it with the heart. And let's adjust the size a little bit. All right, there we go. I think that looks good. And then this time, when I go to the adjustment, since I selected a different material, it is going to auto adjust based on this material. So it might look similar, but the dithering is slightly different. All right. And I'm not going to invert this because we're engraving on wood. All right, so we're done with that. Gonna size it down. All right, and then let's do We Love You. I'll do that on one side. All right. I think I'll split it into 2. All right. So we'll do copy paste, We Love, and then we'll do You Mom. You Mom. All right. Again, we're going to be engraving this. You can change the angle, and then again, call like the windshield wiper. I'm going to change the angle. It looks like it belongs here. There we go. So We Love, and then grave, angle. All right, and then You Mom. The E and mom is silent. I've never claimed to be good at spelling. All right. And then let me do that a little more. All right. And then let's add an exclamation mark. Okay. All right. We love you, Mom. Depending on the material, I also often add a score layer. When you add a score layer, it allows you to get away with doing less engraving, but you're still giving the impression of a darker image than it is by adding a dark outline to it, which is what scoring is. It's like a fast cut line. You can't do it on everything. It needs to have what's called the path line, essentially a line that the machine can follow. All right, 150. Okay, and then for this, do 100 and drop this down to 200 for time, and then duration, let's try 600. All right. See how long this is going to take. I'm going to do framing. And then after I get this going, I will look back at the chat and get questions, comments, expertise that you all have to share. I am moving this around based on the framing. All right, I'd say that looks good. All right. It's going to give me an estimate of, all right, 2 minutes 38. So while you all watch that, I'm going to get back to the chat and catch up with you all. All right, so yeah, can I show my mistake? Absolutely. I can show my mistake that wasn't inverted. Okay, so let me switch over. So it's a little washed out. So the top was not inverted, and then you can see that little strip at the bottom was inverted. And the inversion shows, and then I tried on this. The inversion is what is it removing, or what is it making darker, lighter? And so if your surface is darker, like you have a black business card, then you invert it. You might invert it like a QR code. You invert so that it's lightening around the dark, so that it's able to be seen. Hopefully that answers your question. Laser used to cut fabric. Yes. I've cut fabric on the P2. I've cut fabric on the P3. The most important things I would say is the type of fabric. So you want to not have polyester. You don't want to have things that are going to shrink or catch fire. So low polyester content. And the other thing is you want it to be taut. So I use magnets. I've used things so that the surface is taut. And then depending what you're doing, I start with paper settings, maybe go a little faster than paper settings. And then you want to watch it. So if something gets cut out, if the air assist blows it, you pause so that you can make sure nothing gets hit twice. I'm not doing anything on the P3 tonight. They've asked me to focus in on this one tonight. But if you have requests for future ones, please let me know. What's under the wood? That's a great question. So I made my own what's called a spoil board. A spoil board is like a woodworking term. It's something that you put under when you're drilling or doing things so that you don't mess up your workbench. So that I made my own spoil board that I did holes so that it screws onto the surface, especially when doing glass and things where extra heat might go through. I don't want to mess up my bed, so I've added a spoil board. Have I done foil paper? I've not done foil paper. I am going to be doing some stars on a foil cardboard tonight for a birthday party tomorrow. All right. other questions, other expertise you all have to share, um, let me know. I'm going to flip up the codes again. Again, they stack with the current sale, which is great. Um, John 50, John 70 for the Canadian store. And this is about done. We have about 5 minutes left. If anybody has questions, comments, um, stay tuned. Stay tuned. There are lots of amazing users, amazing presenters that are going to be doing um, more of these live streams. So if you have thoughts, if you have comments, if you want to request something, hey, I'd like more content with the P3, feel free to let people know. My YouTube is Char's Craft Haven. I've not done a lot of content there in a bit, but you can see some older content to spur ideas. And then I'm on Instagram at Creativity Applied if you want to see some projects and things. I just joined, so don't judge. I'm still learning from others. All right, it is just about done. I can see it's a little light. The settings that I did before to get this would take a little bit longer than we have time for. Okay. All right, almost done. It's just doing the last of the We Love You. I'm going to switch over. All right. So here we go. Again, this is a bit washed out. Part of that is because I reduced the dot duration for time. After I'm off this live stream, I'm going to put it back in, line it up, and then go with the full 900 dot duration to darken it up. But here's another quick idea. Again, it's going to look like this. There you go. Put on a nightstand. All right. Let me switch on back over, and final questions you all have, or comments or expertise that you want to share. Yes. Beth says that she's the same way, puts down a cutting plate when doing glass. Absolutely. Any of these machines that can mark metal, I don't want to mark the machine, so I'm always keeping those things safe. All right. Any other final questions? Let me pop up that QR code one last time. Anybody who hasn't already entered, please do enter. This is one of the ways that they can show these streams are successful, is by having a lot of people register. And then, like I said, they're on a little bit of a break, but I have it on good word that they're going to send these gift cards within the next 48 hours of the live stream. All right, one last shout out. Thanks to all the xTool Pro Hubs, all the demo room hosts that have joined us, shared their expertise. And thanks to all the current xToolers and hopefully future xToolers. Definitely join the communities, the Facebook communities. Reach out, ask questions. And nobody knew this before they started learning. So even if there's people that are a bit further on in the learning curve, that doesn't mean that you can't get there. We're all helping one another. Yes, demo room hosts, xToolers, and a few that are Pro Hub as well. So All right, I think we're gonna call it. But it was great chatting with you all, and I will see you all next time. Bye.